let's talk, first of all, legally. The president's been in jeopardy that is deep for some time, and it may be getting deeper with both of these cases today. First of all, in Michael Cohen, if in fact he pleads guilty to campaign finance crimes, remember, through the tapes that have been released publicly by the Cohen side, his lawyer Lanny Davis, we would know that Michael Cohen, the president's personal lawyer, very close to him, will have pled guilty to a crime that the president participated in. That is to say, the financing of those payoffs. Now, as Eamon was saying, we don't know exactly what the charging document will say and whether Michael Cohen is going to cooperate, testify against the president. We have conflicting reports on that. The Associated Press said a plea deal would come with a cooperation agreement. The New York Times has said it would not. And as to Manafort, you have the chairman of the president's campaign, somebody who had been aligned with Vladimir Putin through his work with Ukraine. If he is convicted of bank fraud charges and tax fraud charges, then you will have had the president's campaign chair, the deputy chair, that's Rick Gates, who cooperated against Manafort, his national security advisor, Michael Flynn, and Michael Cohen all plead guilty to felonies. These are people very close to the president. Also, remember that Michael Cohen was attempting to pursue a Trump Tower project in Moscow during the campaign. So all of these men have information about the president, about his interests in Russia, and of course the conduct of the campaign. Now, even if you assume that no prosecutor, Mueller, the Southern District of New York, is going to indict or prosecute President Trump because of the Justice Department doctrine that you can't indict a sitting president, the political jeopardy is substantial, both in terms of the reaction of people on Capitol Hill now, the way it might affect the midterm campaign in which Democrats could take control of the Congress, in which case he would be subject to a much higher level of political scrutiny. So this is all bad news for the president. We'll see how he reacts, but more importantly, we'll see what that jury in Alexandria does and exactly what Michael Cohen has to say when he steps into court this afternoon.
I just want to point out one thing, John, and that is we've seen no market reaction to this story. Sometimes in the past, there is a little bit of a sort of knee-jerk sell-off kind of reaction on these kind of headlines. And I mean, there's nothing out there here. Maybe there are dramatic implications for President Trump, but there's nothing out there, any kind of smoking gun or anything that even vaguely incriminates him from our perspective at this point, correct? And I just wonder how hard that is going to be to get there.
Well, I would not say that, Sarah. As I was discussing earlier, if Michael Cohen pleads guilty to campaign finance violations related to the payoffs of Stormy Daniels or the discussion of a payoff with Karen McDougal, those would be crimes that President Trump participated in. Now, it depends on exactly what kind of crime is stated in the charging documents and what Michael Cohen pleads guilty to, but that's potentially pretty significant. Obviously, the actions that the president has taken, both during the campaign through his deputies in taking that meeting at Trump Tower, which the president put out misleading statements on, and they've now admitted that those statements they've corrected those statements. The urging of Russia to hack more emails, and then the actions after the campaign when he became president, firing James Comey, which he told our colleague Lester Holt was over Russia. All those things are potential pieces of evidence in either a conspiracy case or an obstruction case or both. So there's a lot of evidence out there, but it's not conclusive and nothing, as you point out, he hasn't been charged with anything at this point. And so I guess I'm not surprised at the market reaction, but sometimes these things happen in slow motion.